Let's get physical, it's Jordan here, back again with this week's update. All the physical releases coming to the Switch, April the 10th until the 14th. It's going to be a quick one this week because I've got so many things going on right now, mostly in real life, so let's dig in. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection is releasing in North America this week. Well, okay, it's releasing everywhere except Europe. Why? Because Capcom Europe are borderline negligent. They barely release anything physically on the Switch there, which is a massive shame because they have some of the best games around, including this. This is 10 games in one. Oh my god. Well, okay, some of them are like the Pokemon type of marketing where there's two mildly different versions of the same game, but still a lot of content for the bucks. I've never played these. Mega Man kinda doesn't appeal to me, especially with this type of gameplay, but I know these are very well loved. It's just a shame it doesn't love Europe in return. And our executive producers JCross7776, Issa, Robotech and Cartoon Soren have chosen this as their pick of the week. If you're in North America and you want to pick it up or any of the retail games in this episode, then check the links in the description and the pinned comment you can buy from Video Games Plus and support us at the same time. Remember, they have worldwide free shipping, over 80 Canadian dollars, and the standard shipping is pretty cheap to the US too. Plus, anyone who buys something with our links, each week they will be put into a draw to win a $10 discount coupon, and this week's winner is Alexandro L. Congratulations, you'll get an email from VGP with your coupon very soon. Process of Elimination is releasing this week, another NIS America game. End of the financial year must be coming up, gotta look good for the investors. This is an unusual one for them because it's not an RPG, at least I don't think it is. It's a detective mystery game as you team up with 13 talented detectives. They can't be that talented if you need more than a dozen of them. Anyways, it's all looking a bit Danganronpa-ish if you ask me, so that's pretty cool. We'll probably have a review of this on VN Paradise because, well, they sent us a review code, so why not? And it's quite a big game for such a small channel, so look out for that in the coming days. Hopefully, it's good. And our executive producers Parsnip Coffee and Jennifer M have chosen this as their pick of the week. Cult of the Lamb is getting its retail release this week in both the standard and collector's edition. Remember, this got a release from Special Reserve Games, which, if my increasingly failing brain is remembering, that version had more stuff on the cartridge. I don't know. You look into it. I'm pretty sure they pulled out a spreadsheet to beg you to buy their version. It's all a bit like Strictly Limited, if I'm being honest. All I know is that this retail release is the third cover version because it most certainly needed that. Supposed to be a great game from what I've heard, although I don't know if that's just Devolver's marketing team tickling all the right places on social media to make it seem like it's a massive hit. I don't know, they're a clever bunch over there. And our executive producers, Offphone, God of Resin, Viz, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. A quick mention to Blade Assault, which should be officially getting its physical release in North America this week. And although I've been told that some stores were carrying it already, I mentioned this more last week, but yeah, this is your warning about it. And our executive producers, Precision Plague and Alex M, have chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, the Low Prince. Senses Midnight is PlayAsia's latest collaboration with East Asia Soft, the sequel of sorts to the Big Booba horror game Sense, although this is a totally different playstyle. Absolute yank at its finest. If Fatal Frame was too dignified and mechanically solid for you, you may want to check out Sense's Midnight. I think this one threw all the pretense of being a serious experience out of the window. Expect a PS2 style production with mammoth melons and grabby ghosts. Sounds like my kind of game. All it needs is a wombat or two. Oh wait, that's a joke from last week when this announcement got put back. I had to quickly edit the video before I published it. Anyways, pre-orders for this are going live on Thursday, and I'd very much appreciate it if you stopped by this video before it does, click the link in the description, purchase it, and you massively help support this little channel of ours. The standard edition and the buxom looking collector's edition, which comes with a soundtrack CD and has me written all over it. And don't forget our discount code SWTV23. Yeah, it's the same code as before. They didn't change it, they couldn't be asked. That's fine by me. So, see you on Thursday in the Booba Q. The Booba Q, it's like the barbecue version of Hooters Booba Q. We're just going to copyright that. Be right back. Steel Empire Chronicles is a nice, surprising release from Strictly Limited Games. Steel Empire, Empire of Steel, whatever you want to call it. It's a really great shooter that was on the Mega Drive, then had a remake on the 3DS. Which version is this? Both. It's actually 4 games in one. Those two, plus a Game Boy Advance version, which I can't remember hearing about, and a completely different shooter over Horizon. Why? They found it down the back of the sofa and thought, you know what, we can charge $5 extra for this. There is a standard edition and a collector's edition available to pre-order right now. It's Strictly Limited Games with a bundle release, so something's telling me this will also quietly release at retail but missing one of the games. We'll see though. Aside from that prospect, I'm pretty excited about this one. Not that I'm gonna buy it because I've got other stuff to buy. And our executive producers, Instacritic and Brent McLean, have chosen this as their pick of the week. Lost in Play is super rare games this week. Can't speak. This is a lovely looking game, a point and click adventure style that's gonna charm your socks off for 5 hours. It's family friendly, well as long as they're over 7 years old according to Peggy, but the developers, they disagree. This looks really great, like a proper cartoon or something. Be there on Thursday, 4,000 copies available, but they want to make the most amount of money possible, so half of those have an unnecessarily jacked up price tag with a steel buck. You can't fool me, super rare. The Last Spell is getting a release from Pixel Love in Europe in a standard or 2 collector's editions. This looks to be pretty cool, a turn-based tactical RPG that includes some tower defense elements as well. You deploy your randomly generated warriors to defend the village from ever-increasing waves of monsters. Pretty good looking and quite in depth, seems to have a lot of effort put into it, and you can pre-order this at Pixel Love's website like right now. Or, if you're in North America, you can pre-order this game from Limited Run, as it's one of 4 games they have this week. I thought they were getting a bit too quiet. Unlike Pixel Love, they only have a standard edition, no collector's editions available. What's wrong with them? Are they okay? Are they feeling okay? And our executive producers Alexander Cato, Ozgolo, and Dane Wilkinson have chosen this as their pick of the week. Some have gone with Pixel Love, some have gone with Limited Run. I'm bunching them together because it means less editing. OneShot is Limited Run's second game this week. Pre-orders opening on Tuesday in a standard and collector's edition. There we go. This looks to be a mystery adventure game. It actually reminds me a bit of Ib, which I recently played, only with this one set within a computer program or something like that. And just like Ib, it's very highly rated by some people, and on Steam it's like overwhelmingly positive. So I have no reason to doubt the Switch version is bad or anything. It's probably pretty good. And our executive producer Thorn Metal Luna has chosen this as his pick of the week. Tales from Space, Mutant Blobs Attack is their third game, going up for pre-order, this time on Friday. This is a really old game, like more than 10 years old, from the Vita, but it's made by the same team as Guacamelee, so it's probably pretty awesome. Apparently, you are an ill-tempered blob that grows in size by swallowing everything in its path. There's probably an analogy to Limited Run's business practice in there somewhere. Minoria is perhaps Limited Run's biggest game this week? I don't know. This is a Metroidvania because, everything is these days, but it's made by a dude who worked on Momodora, and this shares some obvious similarities. He really likes words that begin with M and end in A, but this looks pretty nifty if you're into these dark fantasy settings, Metroidvania stuff. There's a standard and collector's edition available. And our executive producer, Totally Grateful, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Alright, the imports, we're heading into Play Asia territory. Yeah, if you want to import any of the games shown here, please consider using our Play Asia links below in the description. It's always the #1 way to support us, I promise you. And I thank you kindly for everyone who does. Plus, if you click our link, you can also get a nice 5% off with SWTV23. Castle of Shikigami 2 is releasing this week in Japan with English. Slightly random that the second game in the series is the only one coming to the Switch. What happened to 1 and where's 3? Whatever. Quite a few people are excited about this one, and me too. Who doesn't love a good arcade shooter with plenty of characters? This is getting a Western release in North America and Europe. That's just been recently announced via Video Games Plus in North America and Red Art Games in Europe. So you can wait for those if you want to, and those will be like sometime later this year, maybe at the end of the year, I don't know. Or you can get the Japanese version. Right now it's pretty cheap as well. And our executive producer, our man in Japan, Vey, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Osman is releasing physically in Japan this week. This is a long-lost arcade game of sorts, also called Cannon Dancer in the West, which is a much better name, I think we can all agree. As you may be aware, Strictly Limited Games did this in Europe, but this is another option, as it does have English. There's a standard edition and a collector's available this week. And yeah, if you like Strider, you know, Capcom games, this is basically the same thing. Look at it. Look, it's Strider, just with a different name. Osman. Jesus, what a terrible name. And also in Japan, they also have Dokapon Kingdom Connect. We will get that like in a couple of months, I think. And this other visual novel, Senjo no Waltz for Nintendo Switch. That does not have English. Alright guys, that's it. That's it this week, okay? I really have so much going on in my life right now that I couldn't spend too much time with this. So I apologize, but next week I'll be back to big strength, whatever that means. And also on my Patreon, my personal Patreon, nothing to do with SwitchWatch, I will have part 1 on my huge Kirby retrospective. It's going to be like 2 hours, 10 minutes, and it's going to be done this week. So that'll be on my Patreon. That's also like another great way to support me as well. But yeah, pretend I didn't say that. Thank you to our executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, Jcross7776, Punkydooster Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Z, Raven Knight, Thorn Metal Luna, Parsnip Coffee, Issa, They, Mental Traveler, Phone, Viz, Jennifer M, Instacritic, Precision Play, Kadacha, Ozgolo, Totally Grateful, and Alex M. Thank you for your support, plus you watching right now. If you watched all the way through, please leave me a booba-Q emoji. I don't know what a booba-Q emoji is, something to do with barbecue. I don't know. Just have a look. What do you think can signify a booba-Q? Queuing for some booba.